Okay, hi, welcome back to our PSLE exam lessons on how to do paper one. Alright, so we are now going to look at River Valley Primary School SA1 2019. We are going to go through the paper one lesson. So far we have done a few lessons on paper one for other schools, and we hope that through this lesson, you are able to your child is able to understand the basic concepts and the foundation of all the topics. Right, it's important that your child scores high. Right, scores high for paper one, because to have a good pass for the whole paper, right, in the PSLE, you need to score as high as you can for paper one. So the concept, right, the basic understanding must be there. So if your child is struggling, then I advise your child to revise, right, to practice on these papers, and then use the video to check the answers and to go through the mistakes. Alright, so let's start with our question one. Alright, question one, and I'll be going through slowly, right? And every question I will spend time to explain to you how to get the answer and how to the concept behind, right? The concept behind every question. There is a concept behind every question, and for some questions you can even use methods to solve. So for question one, now what does the digit 5 stands for? So this question tests you on your place value. Alright, on what are the different place value. Like for example, this is a decimal, right? What you see is a decimal. So the 4 is actually your whole number. Alright, it's like a whole number which is ones, right? That's in the ones place. And then the 1, which is after the decimal point, that is in the tenth. Okay, the tenth place. And then your 5 will be in the hundreds. Okay, hundreds place. And then the 3 will be in the thousands. Okay, thousands. So there's a TH there. So this is your P4, right? What you learn in P4. So the digit 5 stands for what? It stands for hundreds. Alright, 5 hundreds. So your answer should be number 3. Alright, and of course, if you're asked for the value, what is the value of the digit 5? Then that will be 0.05. Alright, so that's a value. Okay, now, so let's go on to number 2. Machine A can pack 1,000 boxes in an hour. Machine B can pack 800 boxes in an hour. So you're talking about the same timing, right? Both machines can pack so many boxes in 1 hour. Now at these rates, how many more boxes can machine A pack than machine B in 6 hours? So the question is to ask you how many more. Alright, how many more can A pack than B in 6 hours? Then you need to find how many more machine A can pack than machine B in 1 hour. So in machine A, right, machine A can pack. Now, how to do this question, even though it seems easy but may be hard for your child? The way to do this problem, right, to make it easier and to break down the problem is to write down the information. Like machine A, then you put down 1 hour, right? 1 hour, 1,000. Okay, 1,000 boxes. And then machine B, right? Machine B, 1 hour will be 800 boxes, right? So you write down on the paper, and then you can see more clearly. You can see better, and you want to find how many more, right? How many more? So what do? Then you compare A and B. So 1 hour, how many more can machine A can pack than machine B? So 1,000 you minus 800, and you can see that you have 200 more. All right. So in 1 hour, machine A can pack 200 more. Then you want to find 6 hours, right? Then you just find 6 hours. And how to get 6 hours? You take 200 times 6. And shortcut, 2 times 6, you will get 12. And then put back the 2 zeros behind. So how many more can machine A pack than machine B? That will be 1,200 more. And your answer is number 4. Alright, so one of the ways to help you to understand and to break down the problem is to write down something like this. Alright, then you can see clearly for yourself. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Alright, in this question you are tested on how to change the fractions to decimal. So let's look at how we change. Now 40 is not a decimal, so you have to change it into a 0.0. Right, make it into a decimal. Then your 4 over 100 is 400. Okay, 400s. So how do you write as a decimal? 0.04. Alright, hundreds have 2 zeros, so your decimal must have 2 decimal places. That's why you can see 2 decimal places. And then your 4,000 must have 3 decimal places. So that will be 0.004. And then you plus them together. Alright, never do mental sums. If you do mental sums, then you will get yourself confused and start making mistakes already. So put the zeros in the blank spaces, and then you add them together. So you have 40. Alright, 40 point, okay, let me just write a bit nicely. Okay, so you have 40.044, which is your decimal. So where's the answer? 40.044. So look for the correct number and circle. Okay, so that's how you do number 3. So number 3, you are tested on how to convert fractions to decimal, which is your P4 topic. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, question 4. Which of the following is not a net of the figure? Alright, so you can actually try to try to unwrap the figure. So if you unwrap the figure, or what you can do is you can actually number the phases. For example, the base is the bottom, then the side here 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you have 4 phases, right? 4 phases and the base at the bottom. Now the base is here, and of course can you put the numbers on the different phases. For example, let's say this is 3, right? 3, then the opposite side will be 1, then the left side will be 2, then the right side will be 4. So this is a possible net. Okay, then you look at number 2, right? Number 2. Okay, number 2. And then what do you see? Can you do the same for number? Alright, then if you look at number 2, right? Number 2, what do you see? Now you can do the same thing, right? The base, right? The base is here, and then your 1 is here, right? The front, and then your 2 will be on this side, right? Your 2, and then your 3 will be here, and then your 4 will be over here. So this is a possible net. Okay, let's go to number 3. Okay, number 3. Now is number 3 the net? Now if you look carefully, you have the base, and then of course your number 2 is on the left side, and then your number 1 is on the right side, and then what happens? Now can you see this side? Right, this is a horizontal line, which is the top, right? If you fold it, it will be the top. But if you look at over here, which is supposed to be over here, right? If you look at this face, which is your 4, can you see the face, the triangular face, which is your 4? Now, do you have a horizontal line on the top? Right? There's no horizontal line. It's actually a corner. There's a corner there, right? A corner at the top. But if you look at number 3, this is the horizontal line, which is not a corner. So that's why your number 3 is not the net. When you fold the net for number 3, what will happen? You will have this horizontal line that is on top of the figure, right? But at the top of the figure is actually a corner. There's a corner. Alright, so number 3 is not the correct net. Then how about number 4? Is that the correct net? Do the same thing. Can you put the numbers onto the phases? So base, that's your 1. That's your base. And then where's your how about this one? This is the left side. And then your 1 will be over here, your 1. So what is the lesson here? The lesson here is to number the phases, and then see whether you can put the numbers onto the nets. And then this one will be what? This will be your 3, right? Your 3 is opposite the 1, right? Your 3. And then how about the other one? The 2 will be opposite the 4. So the 4 will be on the right side. So number 4 is the nets, is the correct nets of the figure. So your answer is number 3, which is not the nets. Okay? But this will not be tested for this year, right? In the PSLE for 2020, you do not have to you won't be tested on this topic, all right? But it's good to know. Okay, let's go to number 5. Now, 40% of a number is 240. What is the number? So every time there's a percentage, there is a special number that is 100%. So what is your 100%? Which is the number. So you're supposed to find what is this number. So if 40% is 240, then you can find 1%, right? So your 1% will be 240, and then you divide by 40. Now in paper 1, try to cut down the working. Don't have too many steps or don't have too many workings. You just divide by 10 and divide by 10, right? And you get 24 divided by 4, which is 6 already. And then you want to find 100%. So your 100% will be 100 times 6. So what is the number? The number is 600. Answer number 3. Okay, so I think you should try to do the paper first before you watch the video. Alright, then you can learn from there. Okay, so try not to watch the video without having attempted the paper yet. So you should try to complete the questions first, and then use the video to check your answers and to revise, to go through the mistakes. Okay, let's go to number 6. what is the area of the shaded triangle? Now, there are a few triangles here, so you need to know what triangle are you finding, which is the triangle here. Now, this is a regular shape, so which means that you can just apply your formula. So what is the formula to find the area of a triangle, which is the regular shape? You take half times base, and then you multiply by height. So to recognize the base and the height, they both must be right angle to each other. For example, if this is the base has to be one of the three sides of the triangle, then the height must be what? Must be right angle to the base, right? If you don't see a line that's right angle to the base, then there's no height, right? You can't have the heights. So the height must always be right angle to the base. So another way to recognize the height is to take your ruler. All right. So this is what we have done in our concept mastery lesson. How do you find the height? You use your ruler. Okay, use your ruler, and you place the ruler on the base of the triangle, and then you shift the base left, right, and can you see a line that's parallel with the ruler? Yeah, there's a line which is over here. So that is your height, right? The height of the triangle, which is 9 cm. So half times 10 times 9. Okay, shortcut. Is there a shortcut? Yeah, that's a shortcut. You cancel, divide by 2, and then divide by 2. Okay, and then you have 1 times 5 times 9. So what is 5 times 9? Alright, actually Mr. will prefer to change it into a fraction so that's easier. So you change the whole number into a fraction, just over 1. And then those numbers you never cancel, right? You multiply them. So for example, you multiply the numerators, which is 1 times 5 times 9, that gives you 45, then 1 times 1 times 1. And then what's the area of the triangle, which is 45 cm square. Okay, so shortcut is lesson here, you cancel so that you can do faster. Otherwise, you'll be spending more time to do workings because you have big numbers. So you cancel to make the numbers smaller. So next one, what is the value? Alright, the value of the x. Now, for this number line, before you can even try to work out the answer, you have to count the gaps. So if you look carefully, there are 5 gaps, right? 5 gaps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you look at the decimal. It's 1 decimal place, which is a bit hard to compare. So you just add 1 more 0. Add 1 0 behind. Make it a little larger. All right, make it a little easier to see. I won't say larger, but easier to see. And then there are 5 gaps or 5 units. So how big is 5 units? You take 6.90 and you minus 6.80, you will get 0.10. Right, that is how big is 5 gaps. Then you find what is 1 gap. So 1 gap must be 0.02. Then you start counting. Alright, so this is 7.00, 02, 04, and 06. So the x is 7.06. Let me see, is it correct? 06 and then 08 and then 10, 7.10. So you're correct. So x is pointing at 7.06. So there's an important lesson here. Every time you see gaps, you have to count the gaps. Alright, find how big is 1 gap. Then you look for the number. Alright, look for what number is that. Okay, let's go to the next one. Question 8, speed. Alright, speed is not tested in PSLE for this year, but let's go through this anyway. Alright, because you need to know for those who are having PSLE next year. Now, Rashid took 50 minutes to walk from his house to the park and come back. If his average speed for the whole journey was 30 meters per minute, what was the distance between the house and the park? Now, there is a lesson on speed, which is to draw the speed distance timeline. Alright, that's a model. So if I were to draw the model from the house to the park, alright, so you have a distant line. Alright, and for this distant line, there is a set of speed, distance, and time. Okay, there's a set of values. Alright, so he's going to the park and then he comes back. Right, he comes back and from the park he returns home. So Rashid, right, so you label your model. And coming back, there's also a set of values, speed, distance, and time. So there's a method here, a big method on solving speed problem, which is to use your speed, distance, timeline model. Okay, Rashid took 50 minutes to walk from his house to the park and come back. So going there, you have a set of values. Coming back, you also have a set of values. So there is a third set of values, which is your overall speed, right? The overall speed for the whole journey. There's also something called total distance traveled, and then there is a total time taken, right? So you have three sets of values. Okay, your job is to what? Your job is to fill the numbers, put the numbers into the model. So Rashi took 50 minutes. So where do you put 50 minutes? Over here, right? That is your time taken to walk to the park and come back. And then the average speed for the whole journey was 30 meters per minute. So where do you put that? Whole journey, average speed for the whole journey, which is over here. Alright, going there, coming back, the average speed for the whole journey, 30 meters per minute. So what was the distance between the house and the park? So your question mark can be this or can be over here. It will be the same distance. Alright, then you have to remember your triangle, right? How do you get the speed? Speed is equal to distance times time. Alright, that is the formula, the triangle that you are asked to remember. Alright, from this triangle, then you can work out the different things that you need to find. So what is the total distance? Can I find the total distance going to the park and coming back? You look at the triangle, distance is equal to speed. What's the speed? Which is 30 meters per minute, and then you multiply by time, which is 50 minutes. Alright, now important lesson here, before you can multiply or divide, you need to check the unit sign to make sure they are the same. So what is 30 times 50? So 30 times 50 will be 1500 meters. So the total distance traveled is 1500 meters. Alright, but that's not the answer because it's the total distance going to the park and coming back. Then you must divide by 2. Why divide by 2? Because going to the park and coming back is the same distance. So you will get 750 meters, which is answer number 3. Okay, right? Okay, let's go to number 9. Okay, number 9. Siti has 4/5 meter of cloth and she used 1/4 of each. How much cloth did she have left? Now, a very tricky question over here because some of you will take 4/5 minus 1/4. Now you cannot do that because the two fractions are referring to different groups. If you look at the first fraction, there's a meter, but the second fraction there's no meter. So you cannot take 4/5 minus 1/4. You need to find how long she used, which is 1/4 of the cloth. Alright, 1/4 of the cloth, and the cloth is 4/5 meter. Alright, then you cancel, divide by 4, and then you circle those numbers you cannot cancel. You get 1/5 meter. So which means that she used 1/5 meter. And then how much cloth did she have left? Then you can take the 4/5 meter and you minus 1/5 meter. So now both fractions have the same meters, right? The same unit sign. So now you can minus already, and you will get 3/5 meter left, which is your answer number 2. Right? So take note of the fractions. Right? If the two fractions are different, you cannot minus them. You cannot add them, you cannot subtract them. You cannot make the denominator the same also, right? Because they are different. They refer to different things. Okay, let's go to next one. Question 10. Mrs. Sim had $20. After buying 4 identical files, she had $M left. So can you find the cost of one file in terms of M? Alright, so she has total $20 at first, right? And then how do you find how much she spends? You minus away the money that she has left, which is the M. Alright? And then now for those of you who are struggling to know how to do this, then what our advice is you draw a model. Alright, go by model drawing. It helps you to see more clearly. So this is your $20. Okay, let me just show the model, then you can see how I get the answer. And then she spent some money and now she got M left, right? Alright, so can you find how much did she spend over here? That must be 20 minus M, right? To get the money she spent. And what did she spend on? She spent on 4 files. So can you find how much is one file? Then you take 20 minus M, which is the money that she has spent, and then you divide by 4 to get how much is one file. So your answer will be number 1. Okay? Alright, now we come to your pie chart. Now pie chart is also not tested in the PSLE, but let's do it because next year your child who is taking P6 will be tested for next year. Okay, the pie chart shows the favorite stores of the pupils. Each pupil can only choose one store. So there's 5/12, there's 1/6, there's a right angle. Now, this pie chart has different topics. You have fractions, you also have angles. So the lesson about pie chart is to change all these different topics into one topic. Like for example, if you like fractions, then you change the right angle, which is 90 degrees, right? You change it into a what? Into a fraction, which is 1/4. 90 degrees is 1/4 of a right, 1/4 of a circle. So you put down 1/4, right? Okay, now once you choose fractions already, then you look at all these fractions. They all refer to the same pie, right? The same pie chart. Then you have to make the denominator the same. So 4 times 3 and 1 times 3. And then over here will be 6 times 2 and then 1 times 2, because all the fractions refer to the same pie. And then because you are choosing fractions, then the whole pie must be 1 whole, which is 12/12. And then you can find what fraction is the chicken rice. You take 12/12 minus 5, minus 3, and minus 2. So that will give you 2/12. So 2/12 of the pupils like chicken rice. Okay, now then you can solve already. So there are 48 more pupils. Choose the fusion store, then the western food store. Alright, so you compare these two stores. The western store is 3/12, and the fusion store is 5/12. So how many more? So you minus, and you will get 2/12 more. And your 2/12 is also how many more? It's also 48 more pupils. So can you find what is 1/12, which is 48 divided by 2? And 1/12 is 24, right? So how many pupils were there altogether, which is your 1 whole? So your 1 whole is 12/12. So you need to take 24 and then you multiply by 12. So 24 times 12, and you do your working, and you will get 288 pupils altogether. And your answer is number 4. Alright, so do you get the answer correct? Okay, so these are your 2 mark questions already. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, let's go on to the next one. And oh, we forgot number 10, right? There's a number 10 there. Okay, now which of the following is likely to be the height of the school flagpole? Okay, now flagpole, if you have noticed a flagpole, it cannot be 45 cm because it's short. It cannot be shorter than a ruler, right? Your 45 cm is about the length of a the length of a ruler, right? 30 cm ruler, 1 meter ruler, right? So 45 cm is quite short, so it cannot be the height of the flagpole. Neither can it be 450 meters, because 1 round in the stadium, right? If you run 1 round in the stadium, that is about 400 meters, which is very long, right? So your flagpole cannot be so long. So how about 45 meters? Now 45 meters is the length of a swimming pool. A swimming pool is about 50 meters, which is very long. So your flagpole cannot be so long. Alright, now then it has to be what? If you notice your flagpole in schools, it's about 3 stories. About the height of the flagpole is about 3 stories. And how tall is that? That is about 3 meters or 4 meters, which is 4 meters 50 cm, and this is the height of the flagpole, which is more realistic. Okay, more realistic. So usually the flagpole is about 3 stories or 4 stories. Okay, not very high, not very tall, but not very short. So it is about 4 meters. Right, so number 2 will be the best estimation, right? The best, the most suitable height for the flagpole. Okay, so let's go back to our question 13. Okay, question 13, and okay, now let's look at this. Okay, now this will be a little hard. All right, this question 13 is actually a little hard for some of you, but let's try to do this because it's going to be a little hard. But let's try and do this. Now, a shop was selling mobile phones at a discount of 15%. Right? So now it's best to draw a model. So if you're not sure how to do this, then always go for model drawing. So if I were to draw a rectangle, right, this is the mobile phone. Without the discount, it is always 100%. Alright, without discount. But once there's a discount, then you pay only how many percent? You pay only 85%. Okay, that's what you paid. Now, as a member of the shop, Mr. Lee received an additional 10% on top of the discounted price. So where is the discounted price? Now this is the discounted price. Okay, I'll call it the discounted price. So you cannot take 85% and then minus 10%, right? Because why? Because percentage is very special. You have to always start with 100% again. So your 85% will become 100. So for example, let me use a different color. So you have to start with 100% again, which means that this discounted price is 100% now. So now you can take the 100%, then you minus the additional 10%. Okay, and of course, what happened to the rectangle? The rectangle over here will be shorter already lah. Okay, shorter. So you pay lesser already. And how many percent do you pay for this? Okay, for this. Okay, let me just use a different color, use a black. So how many percent do you pay if you are a member? So you pay 10% lesser, right? Because there's an additional 10% discount. So you are paying now 90%. Okay, so how much is 90%? So what do you do? All right, now you need to write down, all right, you need to do some steps. So your 100% is 85. Okay, got it? 100% is 85. Then what do? Then you can find 1%. All right. Now avoid what? Avoid having decimal so they can do faster. So I will write 85 out of 100 as a fraction. Right? If you want to simplify, you can also simplify if you want, which is up to you. If not, you can leave it like that. Then you find 90%. All right, because after 10%, you pay only 90%, right? As a member. Then you take 85 over 100 and then you multiply by 90. Okay, to find how much is 90%. All right, you divide by 10, divide by 10. Okay, and then you have what? 85 times 9, right? What is 85 times 9? So 85 times 9, you will get 765. Okay, and then 10 times 1, you get 10. Okay, all right. So how much is 90%? That will be, you take 765 divided by 10, right? You shift the decimal point to the left one time, you will get $76.50. So if you are a member, how many percent do you pay? If you are a member, you pay only 76.5 or $76.50 if you are a member. Okay, you can see that you are paying lesser. And in the end, he paid $765 for the mobile phone. All right. Oh, by the way, Mr. Make a mistake. It is not the money. All right, it's percentage. Right, Mr. Make a mistake. So let me just write again. So it's 76.5%. Okay, so 76.5%. So what is 90%? 90% is 76.5. Okay. All right. So we're gonna put down over here 76.5%. Okay, and how much is that actually? Now, in the end, he paid $765 for the mobile phone, which is over here. So this is the money that he paid after all the discount. So after all the discount, he paid $765 after all the discount. All right, so which means that can you find what was the total discount he received? So how do you find the total discount? Well, you can see that 1%, right? If you see that 1% is 85 over 100, then what do? You can find 100%, which is without discount, right? 100% is the original price without discount. So that will be 85 out of 100, and you multiply by 100. Okay, right? 85 out of 100. Okay, 85 out of 100 multiply by 100, and you will get okay, Mr. can't do this way. All right, let me just cancel it. All right, I can't do this way. So let's erase that part. Okay, and so yeah, let me just erase that. Okay, so you have 76.5%. All right, 76.5%, which is $765. Okay, then how do you find 1%? Oh, this is gonna be quite challenging, right? So you get rid of the decimal, you times 10. All right, times 10, which is 765%, and then over here you times 10, 7650. All right, so it's a bit hard, all right, hard for some of you. And then you find 1%. So your 1% will be 7650 divided by 765. So your 1% is $10. Okay, $10. Now, if 1% is $10, then how much? All right, how much is the discount? Then you look at over here. All right, how much is the discount? So you can find the original price without discount, which is 100%. So 10 times 100%, the original price is what? $1,000. All right, because 100% is original price. Then you take 1,000 and you minus the discounted price, which is 765, and that will give you the discount. So 1,000 minus 765, and the total discount is $235. So what was the total discount that he received? $235. Alright, so Mr. must say that this is not easy for some of you because there is a lot of things to look at, right? The percentage, how to get a discount, and then you have to find 1%, and then so on. Okay, so not quite easy. But if you got it correct, well done, right? Because it means that you are slowly getting there. Okay, let's go to number 14. Right, number 14. Now, Alice and Candice have a total, right? Have a total of $128. Candice and Belinda have a total of $78. Alice has 3 times as much as Belinda. So what is the average money that the 3 girls have? Okay, now the best way to do this is by model. So it's always good to draw a model. Then you can see more clearly. So there's a repeated person here, which is Candice. So Candice and Alice have a total. So you draw a rectangle, and the total is 128. And cut the rectangle into 2 boxes. Right, Candy is the first box, Alice is the second box. And then you have Candice and Belinda. So you always put the repeated person in front. And Candice and Belinda have a total of $78. So you put down $78 for the 2 of them. And then Alice has 3 times. So you can call 3 units for Alice, and Belinda has 1 unit. So what is the average money the 3 girls have? To find the average, you must find the total money they have. Then later you divide by 3. So you look at the model, and you can use the model to find the difference, which is 2 units. And 2 units is $50. You take 128 minus 78, you get $50. Then your 1 unit will be 50 divided by 2, that will be $25. And then you can find how much is Belinda, which is $25. Then you can find Candice, which is 78 minus 25. So Candice has 53. And then you can find Alice, which is 3 units. So 3 units will be 75. And now you have the 3%, right? The money that belongs to the 3%. Okay, how do you find the average? Then you need to add the money together. You take 75 plus 53 plus 25. You add the 3% together. And what do you get? So 75 plus 53 plus 25, you will get 153, which is their total money. To get average, you have to always divide. Right? To get average, you need to divide by how many percent? And the average will be $51. And your answer is number 1. Okay, so do you get the answer correct? So if you have, then well done. Right? So if you don't know how to do, always go back to model drawing. Think about whether can I draw the model. Right? You will see me using model very often. Okay, next one. Question number 15. Ratio problem. A rope was cut into 2 pieces in the ratio 3:2. The longer piece was then cut into 2 pieces in the ratio 3:1. Among the 3 pieces, the longest piece was 18 cm. What was the original length of the rope before it was first cut? So again, you can use model drawing because it's a good way to visualize the problem. So I'm going to cut the rope into 2 pieces. Let's call it the longer and the shorter. So the longer piece will have 3 boxes, and the shorter piece will have 2 boxes. Okay, 2 boxes. You can also use ratio to represent. Okay, so there are 2 ways of doing model or using ratio. Now, the longer piece was then cut into 2 pieces in the ratio 3:1. So which means that this longer piece was further cut, right? It was cut some more into another 2 more pieces. So let's put down longer piece again. I draw the same length, and this time I cut it into total how many boxes? 3 plus 1, I cut it into 4 boxes. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So let me call the 3 boxes here. Let me call it the what do you call it? Let's call it the okay, let's call it the first piece or whatever. Okay, first piece, and then this will be the second piece, right? The second piece is one box. Okay, now if you look carefully, now what is the same, make them equal, right? You have two rectangles that refer to the same longer piece. So how to make the model all equal? You just put 3, 3, 3, and here also 3, right? And then here will be 4, 4, and 4. So you make the model equal, cut them equally. Alright, then the smaller piece over here must be 4 and 4, right? 4 and 4. Okay, now among the three pieces, the longest piece. So where is the longest piece? Okay, so let's look at the model and let's find the longest piece. Now the first piece here is 9 units. Then the second piece here is 3 units, and then this short piece is 8 units. So out of these three pieces, which is the longest? The longest is the first piece, which is 9 units. So 9 units must be 18. So 1 unit must be 2 cm. So what was the original length? So you add up 8 units, right? 8 units, and you plus all this. Okay, add up all these three pieces to give you the total length, right? Before it was cut, and that will give you 20 units. So the original length is 20 units. Okay, and then how long is 20 units? So 20 times 2, and you get 40 cm. So the original length is 40 cm. Alright, okay, so we have completed the multiple choice questions. So now let's go to your booklet B, which is your question 16. Okay, now for question 16, it looks simple but can be very easy to make mistakes. So what I will do is, I will write 205,084. Well, if you want to do this way, also fine, because this is the careful way, alright, the careful way of doing without making any mistakes. 205,000. Oh, Mr. has a mistake. Okay, let me just erase that. That is 200 and 500, which is wrong. So 205,000. So even Mr. Careful Way also has mistakes. So 205,000, right? 205,000 and 84. Right, so you just put 84. 205. Okay, wait. What happened to Mr. Ong? Okay, hang on. So we don't write like that. 205,000. Okay, 205,000. Okay, Mr. Ong is making a few mistakes for this question. So it looks very simple, but somehow it is also quite easy to make mistakes like Mr. Ong. So 205,000. So 205,000 and 84. So you just plus them together, and you will get 205,084. So what's the lesson here? The lesson here is to convert all the words into numbers. Alright, the words into numbers, like 205,000. So you change it into numbers, and then here will be 84, then you plus them together. Right, that's a careful way of doing. Okay, so answer here will be 205, and you may want to leave a gap, 084. Okay, next one, question 17, right, 17. Now, 64,099 people watch a match. So round off the number of people to the nearest hundreds. Nearest hundreds, there are 2 zeros. So you look at the last 2 digits and then you draw a line. Okay? Alright, and then you look at the digit that's nearest the line. So is it 5 and bigger? Yes. So you add 1 on the next digit, and you will get 64100. Alright, so what's the nearest 100? 64100. Alright, and your answer must have 2 zeros at the back because nearest hundreds. Okay, next one. How do you measure the size of angle F? So you will need to use your protractor, and okay, so let's use our protractor. And where would you want to put the protractor? You can put the protractor like this. Right, now make sure the center of the protractor is sitting at the corner of the figure, right? Sitting at the corner. See, the center is sitting at the corner, and then which zero do you look at? You look at the 0 on the left side because the line is on the left side. So that's where you look at the 0. And then you start counting, right? You can see very clearly the line has crossed 30, and it has also crossed 35, right? 35. So 36. So if you look carefully, it is actually 36 degrees. So the angle is 36 degrees. But if you get your answer, which is maybe 36, 35, or 37, your answer is still correct, because there is a tolerance level, right? We allow plus and minus 1. So So if you have plus and minus 1, 35, 37, you will also get the marks for this question. Okay, so that's how you measure the angle. Okay, so let's put down 36 degrees. Okay, next question. Now find the value of 1.08 and then you times 40. Okay, now you have to break up the numbers into number bonds so that it's easier to work out. For example, I can do this. Alright, I can take 1.08 times 4 times 10. Okay, so you take 1.08 times 4, so do your working, which is your P4 decimal. So 8 times 4 is 32, and then 0 times 4 is 0, then plus 3, that will be 3, then decimal point, and then 1 times 4. Okay, so that will be 4.32. Alright, so, and then what do you do with the 4.32? You have to times 10. And when you times 10, your decimal point go to the right one time. Why does it go to the right? Because you times. Right? If you divide, the decimal point will go to the left. And why does it go one time? Why does it go to the right only one time? Because there's a 1 0. Right? 1 0. So you go to the right one time and you will get 43.2. Right? So your question 19, right? Question 19 will be 43.2. Okay, so let me just use my calculator to have a quick check to see whether the answer is correct. Yes, 43.2. Okay, now question 20. Now express 7/9 as a percentage. Now some of you, I think you can take 7 divided by 9 and you get 0.78. Now when you change the fraction to decimal, which is 7 divided by 9, you did not change into percentage yet. Right, how do you change into percentage? You either make the denominator into 100, which is very hard over here. Right, for this question you can't change the denominator into 100. Then what do? Then you have to multiply by 100%. So that is how you convert to percentage. You cannot just take 7 divided by 9 and then the answer is 7 divided by 9. Or you cannot just work out, you cannot just do this. Right, 7 divided by 9 and then you get your answer 0.78 after rounding off. That is your decimal answer, but it is not percentage yet. To change to percentage, you have to times 100% first. Right, you do times 100%, or you make the denominator into 100. For example, how do I change this into a percentage? I make the denominator 100, right? 5 times 20, and then 2 times 20, and then once the denominator is 100, you can see the percent is 40, right? 40%. So, or you take 2/5, you multiply by 100%, that's the second way, and you will get the same. Right, you divide by 5 and then you will get 2 times 20 is 40%. Right, 40% also. So you need to do either this way, either one of this way. Alright, so let's come back. So over here you will get 700% and then divide by 9. Okay, now you need to round off to 1 decimal place. So which means that when you divide, your decimal must be 2 decimal place before you can round off. So you have 7 times 9, 63, then you minus, bring down the 0, 7 times 9, 63 again, then you minus, and how to continue dividing? You change the whole number into a decimal. Then you bring down the 0, bring up the decimal point, 7 times 9, 63, and do not write your answer as 77.7 because you haven't rounded anything yet. You need to round off, right? So you must get 2 decimal places. You must get your answer in 2 decimal places. So add 1 more 0, bring down the 0, and then 7 times 9, you get 63 again, and then now you can stop. So what's your working answer? Your working answer is 77.77%, and you round off to the 1 decimal place. And how do you round off? You just draw a line to show 1 decimal place, alright, which is 77.7. That's your 1 decimal place, right? You draw a line to show the 1 decimal place. Then you look at the digit 7 that's nearest the line. Is it 5 and bigger? Yes. Then you add 1 on the next digit. So you will get 77.8%, which is your answer, right? Which is your rounding off to the nearest 1 decimal place. Okay, so very important lesson here. But already there are some students who have made mistakes on this. So you need to either times 100%, right? Or you make the denominator 100 if you want to change into percentage. Okay, now let's go to your question 21. Now, color two more squares so that line XY is the line of symmetry. So if you look at the diagram, right? What is a line of symmetry? You have two identical sides, all right? You have two sides that look the same. So left side, right side, the same. Left side, right side, don't have, right? So you need to color one square. There's a triangle on the left and a triangle on the right. There's a square here on the other side, also same. Over here there's a square, but over here there's no square, so you must do some coloring. Over here square and there's a square, and then over here there's a square and also a square, and here same as well. So these are the two squares that you must color to show that XY is the line of symmetry. Okay, now question 22. The volume of a cube is 64 cm cube. So immediately, when you see this statement, right, a cube, what is a cube? So you must understand what is a cube. A cube is like a dice. All the faces are square faces and all the sides are equal. So volume is 64 cm cube. So which means that what times length times height is equal to 64. So you have to guess a number. What number times the same number equals 64? Or if it's a paper 2, you use a calculator to find the cubic root, right? Cubic root of 64, and you will get the answer 4. So which means that every side of the cube is actually 4 cm. Every side. Alright, you want to find the total area of all the faces. So you need to find the area of one square face. So what's the area of one square face? Which is 4 times 4, that is 16. So the area of one square face is 16. And how many faces are there in the cube? There are 6 faces. So what is the total area of 6 faces? You take 16 times 6, and the total area of all the faces will be 96 cm square. That's how you find the total area of all the faces. Got it? Alright, now let's go on to the next question, question 23. Okay, now two whole numbers add up to 623. One of them is a 2-digit number and the other is a 3-digit number. So what is the largest possible difference between the two numbers? Method, draw a diagram. Alright, so there's a method called draw a diagram. A diagram can be can be anything. For example, in this question, I can draw a simple diagram that looks like this. A 3-digit number and a 2-digit numbers, right? And they add up to be what? Add up to be 623. Okay? And then if I want to find the largest possible difference between these two numbers, so what are these two numbers? The 3-digit number and the 2-digit number. So if I minus, I want to get the largest possible difference. Now, how to get the largest possible difference? Primary 3, alright, this is a primary 3 concept, right? You learn that in primary 3. You need the biggest number minus the smallest number to get the biggest difference. Am I correct? To get the biggest difference, you need to form the biggest number. And you need to form the smallest number. So look at the smallest 2-digit number. So what is the smallest 2-digit number you can form? 10. Right? And then what is the biggest number you can have? So you take 623 minus 10, you will get 613. So now you got your two numbers already. Alright, then you take 613 and you minus 10. And what is the largest possible difference? That will be 603. So your answer is 603. Okay? So to get the largest possible difference, you need to make the biggest number, which is your 3-digit biggest number, and your smallest number, which is your 2-digit smallest number. So what is your 2-digit smallest number? 10, right? 10. And then using the 10, you can find the 3-digit numbers already. Okay, let's go to 24. Now, the jacket shows how much a shop charges for dry washing. The first 5 jacket is $50. Every additional jacket is $8. Mrs. Wong paid $98 to wash some jackets. So how many jackets did he send to dry wash? Method here, you can draw a line, alright? Your thumb line, distant line, money line, whatever line. Okay, so you can draw a line like this, which is your money line. Okay, now she spent altogether $98. So maybe I can do something like that. So this is the total money she spent. Cut away the first 5 jacket, and how much is that? That'll be 50, and put down 5 jackets. All right, the first 5 jackets. Now, if you cut away the first $50, then what is the balance here? That will be $48, right? Then you take $48 and then you divide by 8, right? So you take 48, and every additional jacket is $8. You will get another 6 more. So you have another 6 more jackets over here. So how many jackets did she send to dry wash? So that'll be 11. 5 plus 6, 11. Okay? Alright, let's go to the next one. Question 25. Now, Billing had 1080 red, blue, and yellow. She had 20 more blue beads than red. She had 3 times as many yellow as blue. How many yellow beads did Billing have? Now, if you do not know how to do, then always go back to the first method, which is model drawing. Can you use model to solve? Yes, because there are clues, more than 3 times. All these are clues to tell you that you can actually use model to solve. Alright, so let's draw the model. The first sentence you can't draw, then you jump. She had 20 more blue than red. Okay, let me just draw a bit shorter. 20 more blue than red. So you put the 20 over here, which is outside. She had 3 times as many yellow as blue. So 3 times as many yellow. So the yellow here is 1 time, same as the blue rectangle. And you need to draw 3 times. So another rectangle, and then another rectangle. So you have 3 times as many yellow as blue. And the total is 1080. So how many yellow beads did Billing have? So your question mark is to find this. And you are done. Okay, so what do you do? Now, the purpose of model drawing is to make units out of the model. Create your units. So where are the units? Over here, right? All these are the equal boxes. So you call it 1 unit. The red color, the red rectangle, you stretch it, right? Stretch it to become another unit. So that is the purpose of model drawing, to make units out of the model. And then you will see that there are now 5 units already, right? But is a total still 1080? Cannot be, because you have now stretched the rectangle, right? You have stretched the red color rectangle by 20. So the total now becomes how many? So you take 1080 and you plus 20, you will get 1100, which is now 5 units. So can you find 1 unit? So you take 1100 and then divide by 5, and you will get 220, right? Which is 1 unit. So how many yellow beads did Billing have? That will be 3 units. So that will be 220 times 3. So she must have 660 yellow beads. So model drawing, right? Always go back to model drawing. Every time you are not sure how to do, think about whether can you draw the model. Okay, next question. Model again. Okay, it's always model, right? So that's why Ms. Long say model drawing is a very common method to solve. Like you see fractions, ratio, you can draw. A box contains marbles of different colors, 3 different colors. 2/5 of the marbles are blue. So which means that the marbles, there are 5 boxes. You draw a rectangle, cut into 5 boxes, and 2 boxes are blue, and the ratio of the red to the green. So can you see the rest of this model? What color do you call it? The red and the green. So label your model, right? Everything when you draw model, you have to make sure that you label the model clearly. And the ratio of the red is 3:4. So you can write something like that, right? 3:4. There are 16 more blue than green. Now, if you can't put this in the model, then you don't put. How many red marbles are there? So your question mark. Okay? Alright. Okay, now if you look carefully at the model, what do you see? You can see that the red and the blue, you plus them together, that will be 7, right? Total 7. Then you look at the boxes that is the red and the blue, the red and the green, right? Red and the green. You can see that there are only 3 boxes. So can you cut into total 7 boxes? You cannot cut, so you drop down. So there's an important lesson on model drawing. What you cannot cut, you drop down, have a clean model again, and then you cut it into 7, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, and then you still label. How many boxes are red? 3. 3 boxes are red. And how many boxes are green? Which is 4 boxes are green. And then purpose of model drawing is to make them all equal. You cannot leave your model like that. You have to try to make them all equal. So I will put down 7, 7, and here also 7, right? And then below, I will put 3, 3, 3. So every box here is 3. And if you count their units, you will see that there are 21 units on top, and there are also 21 units below. So you have made them equal already. So every box here will be 7 units. So make sure you do the same. Do the same for the whole rectangle. And now you can compare. You can compare the 16 more blue than green. So look at the blue and green. The blue has 14, and the green has 12. Am I correct? So how many more blue than green? So you take 14 minus 12, you will get 2 units more blue than green. So 2 units more blue is also 16. So your 1 unit must be 8. So how many red marbles are there? So you look carefully, there are 9 units of red. So that will be 9 times 8, 72. So there are 72 red marbles. Model drawing. Alright, so model drawing is very important. You need to start drawing model if you are struggling to do your math, struggling to do well for paper 1. Always do model drawing. If you don't draw a model, it's really hard to solve. Okay, it's really hard to solve. So, but with the model, it will help you. Alright, if you can't get the answer, you may be able to get some metal marks. Okay, question 27. Now the grid below shows a straight line. You need to draw another straight line that is parallel to the line AB. Now, when you draw the other line must be equal distance apart from AB. And not only that, the line that you draw must cut through all the dots. Alright, so for example, if you look this point, okay, this point and this point. So I'm going to draw another line that's parallel. So how many dots, what is the distance in between? For example, you can see there's a dot here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 dots. Alright, so I'm going to start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my line should start from here. And then it will end where? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So my line should stop here. Okay? Alright, so that's how you look for the equal distance. How to draw equal distance. Okay, then you need to use your ruler. Okay, your ruler. And don't use freehand, because when you use freehand, your line becomes not straight, and you will be penalized. So you have to make sure that your ruler, right, you use a ruler to draw, and the line must cut through all the dots that you see, right, all the dots. So make sure that your line cuts through, right, cuts through the dots. Okay, so you have to place your ruler nicely so that it cuts through. Okay, something like that. Cuts through the dots. Okay, yeah, it has to cut through the dot, right? My line is a little bit out, but you have to make sure the line cuts through, right? Cuts through all the dots that is given to you, right? Like this. Okay, and after you have drawn already, what do? Then you need to draw 2 arrowheads to show the 2 lines are parallel. Without the arrowheads, you may minus 1 mark. Okay, so that's how you draw another line that's parallel to AB, and it has to pass through the dot C. Okay, next one. Let's go on to the next question. Okay, draw the top view. And how do you draw the top view of this solid figure? You have to stand in front, right? Always stand in front, then look down. Right, stand in front and look down. And if you look down, you will see 2 squares on the left side. So 2 squares. And it's important that you draw the outline. Okay, draw the outline of the square and then do some stripes so that it's very clear. And then there are 3 squares on the right. So you just draw another 3 squares. Alright, so you make sure you show the outline very clearly, because some of the students, they like to use light pencil. The pencil is very light in color and it's hard to see the drawing. And then there's 1 square on the right side. And you do some stripes, alright, draw some stripes. So that is your top view. There's only one answer. So you have to look in front and then look down. Okay, the next one, let's go on to the next, coming to the end soon. Okay, angles. Now, in the figure below, you have PQRS is a parallelogram. Now, every time there's a parallelogram, I will mark out the arrowheads to show 2 lines that are parallel, because there are important properties that are related to parallel lines. Alright, you will see later. Now, can I find the angle over here? Yes, angle on a straight line. Right, there's an angle on a straight line, which is 180 minus 68, and you will get 112. So this angle here is 112 degrees. Alright, now what are the important properties related to parallelogram? Okay, now in a parallelogram that you see over here, alright, you will see that opposite angles are equal. So this is 112, and then this whole angle must also be 112. Opposite angles are equal. So can you find your angle RQT, which is the question mark here? Yes, you can. So 112 and you minus 47. So what is 112 minus 47? You will get 65 degrees. So your RQT is 65 degrees. Got it? Right? So in the parallelogram, opposite angles are the same, are equal. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Now, question 30. Now, last year, Wei Ting saved an average, average of $80 per month from January to November. She did not save any money in December. So, Wei Ting saved a total of $950 last year. Is that true or false? You have to prove it. Whatever answer you have, whatever boxes you put a tick, you have to prove it. You just, but if in the exam, if you're not sure how to do, then you just guess. Okay, but otherwise, you have to prove it. So is it true that he saved a total of $950? Now you look at the statement here. She saved an average of $80 from January to November, which is how many months? Which is 11 months. So what is the total money he saved from January to November? So you multiply by 11 months, so that will be a total of $880. And in December, she saved nothing. So which means that how much did she save last year? Did she save $950 last year? No, she only saved $880 last year. So the answer is false. Got it? Alright, next one. The average money that Wei Ting saved from January to November was higher than the money she saved from January to December. So what do? You have to prove it, whether is it true or false. So you find the average money that she saved from January to November. So what is the average money she saved from January to November? Which is $80, right? That is from January to November. That's the average. Then you find the money, you find the average money that she saved from January to December. So what's the average money? Now the total money she saved is $880, right? To find the average money she saved from January to December, you have to divide by how many months? 12 months already, right? And then what's the average money she saved from January to December? So you do your working, right? You take 880 and then you divide by 12. So you will get 7 times 12, 84, and then you get 40. And then you have 3 times 12 will be 36, and there's a remainder 4, and you can stop there. So she saved about 73, all right, about $73. All right. So is it true that the average amount she saved from January to November was higher than the average she saved from January to December? So is this average higher than this average? Yes, it's higher. So it's true, right? And that's why you put a tick in the true, right, in the truth column. Okay, so we are done with the paper 1 for River Valley SA1 2019. So so hopefully you have you don't make a lot of mistakes for this. But if you make any mistakes, then just watch the video and just play back the video to refresh your understanding. All right. So so we'll be trying to do more of these lessons for other paper 1s. So we hope that through all these lessons, if your child is struggling to do well in math, struggling to pass, we hope that these lessons will help your child to score, right, to score in the paper 1. Alright, so we will see you in the next lesson.